Right. Hello, everybody. Is there anybody out there? Welcome. Hello. We've got 3 of it on. We're hoping for a couple more to join us in a minute or two. Hope you're all well. Hope the weather ain't too inclement for you. All out sweeping the leaves up and whatever else. We're up to 4 now. Shout up in the comment section who's in and I'll give it a shout out. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining. And hi, mate. Hello, Spud and the crew. How the devil are you? Well, we should have been doing this live in the pub tonight, but due to the fact that we ended up in a worse predicament than we started in, we're all doing it from home again. We got half a dozen in. Okay, if you want to give me a show, 7 of you, give us a shout out. Let me know that you're all there. And some wonderful offers on this weekend with the beers. We've got you can get 4 pints of IPA for a tenner. That must pinch that from somewhere. We've got Vocations Pride and Joy and Bristol Beer Factories Say My Name, which are available for delivery tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, or available for collection any one of the days of the week that you'd like to. Evening, Mr. Bills. How the devil are we? You have to shut that door, Matt. Sounds like a fucking helicopter. I've just shut one of the owners in the cold room, which is better than where he usually lives, under the stairs. Right then, if we're all happy and ready, shall we get started? This evening's quiz is the continuation of last week's quiz because we're squirrels and we don't want to spend any money buying a new one, seeing as it was. We're hoping that all the technical difficulties of last week have been put to bed, and the gremlins and demons are leaving us alone for a moment. We'll open the quiz with, if you're all ready, with called Connections. In the Connections round, there's 9 general knowledge questions, with a final question asking for the connection between the previous 9 answers. Right then, question number 1. What word goes before gallery to give a slang term to refer to a collection of mugshots or photographs of criminals used by police? What word goes before gallery to give a slang term used to refer to a collection of mugshots or photographs used by police? Question number 2. Going on to become the best-selling album in the UK in 2003, Dido's second album was called Life for What? Going on to be the best-selling UK album of 2003, Dido's second album was called Life for What? Question number 3. What 4-letter word is said twice in a phrase commonly used in place of applause or cheering in the House of Commons? What 4-letter word is normally said twice in the phrase commonly used in place of applause or cheering in the House of Commons? Question number 4. In the 1980s animated TV series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, what was the name of the wizard who wore a red hat and a red robe with the letter O on it? He was one of the only characters who knew He-Man's true identity. In the 1980s animated TV series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, what was the name of the wizard who wore a red hat and red cape with an O on it and was one of the only characters who knew He-Man's true identity? Question number 5. What word can be used to refer to both the series of vertebrae in the human body that extend from the skull to the small of the back and the narrow strip where the cover of a book is joined to its pages? What word can be used to refer to the series of vertebrae in the human body that extend from the skull to the small of the back and the narrow strip where the cover of a book is joined to its pages? Question number 6. Derived from the Latin word for eighth, what name is given to the distance between two musical notes that are 8 notes apart? Derived from the Latin word for eighth, what name is given to the distance between two musical notes that are 8 notes apart? Question number 7. What 4-letter name for a website developed collaboratively by a community of users comes from the Hawaiian word for quick? What 4-letter name for a website developed collaboratively by a community of users comes from the Hawaiian word for quick? Question number 8. The river that's the main source for Lake Geneva is the river what? The river that is the main source for Lake Geneva is called the what? Question number 9. The term Marxism refers to a philosophy and political program that was named after someone with the surname Marx. What was his first name? The term Marxism refers to a philosophy and political program that was named after someone named Marx. What was his first name? And question number 10. There is a connection between these previous 9 answers, but it's a very spurious, and you'll all throw bricks at the windows when you read what it is. But please, there is a connection between the previous 9 answers. If you could tell me, I'd be grateful. I'll give it a couple of seconds there, and we'll see how we crack on. Evening, Dorinda. Nice of you to join us. We delayed the start for you this evening. Right then, on with the answers. The word that goes before gallery, which is used to refer to a collection of mugshots or photographs, is a rogues gallery. Rogues. The best-selling album of 2003, Died Out's second album, was called Life for Rent. The four-letter word that's said twice in a phrase commonly used in the House of Commons is "hear, hear." The wizard in He-Man was Orko. The vertebrae in the back and the cover of a book where it's joined to the pages are called the spine. Derived from the Latin word eighth, the distance between two musical notes that are 8 notes apart is an octave. The four-letter name for a website developed collaboratively between a community of users and comes from the Hawaiian word quick is wiki, as in Wikipedia or WikiLeaks. The main source of Lake Geneva is the Rhone. And Marxism was named after Karl Marx. It's Karl with a K. That may come in useful later. Please, I'm only reading these off a piece of paper. I'm not actually written any of these. The connection between the previous 9 answers is they are all anagrams of birds' names. Rogues is an anagram of grouse. Rent is an anagram of tern. Here is an anagram of rhea. Orco is rook. Spine is snipe. Octave is avocet. Wiki is kiwi. Round is heron. And Carl is lark. Send me your scores in, guys, if you don't mind, and we'll do a bit of a running total. Dorinda, questions 1, 2, and 3. For you, my dear. Well, I'll give you the answers now, but you can still have them anyway. What word goes before gallery to give a slang term referring to a collection of mugshots or photographs of criminals used by the police? It's question 1. Oh, thank you very much, Dorinda. You got a very handsome score there. It's no problem. Russ, it's absolutely marvellous, my friend. You've done very, very, very well there on your own, without a safety net or adult supervision. I'm exceptional. Thank you very much, my dear. Anybody else shouting the score up? There's some others out there in the wilderness. Round number 2. Round number 2 is called In the News. This one will appeal to gentlemen of a certain age, I'm sure. Spanish duo Baccara recently said they would be happy to re-record which song for the people of Scotland after the players were seen singing it after qualifying for the European Championships. Spanish duo Baccara recently said they would be happy to re-record which song for the people of Scotland. Question number 2. Which country recently became only the second in the world after the USA to have had a total of over 9 million coronavirus cases? Which country recently became only the second in the world after the US to have had a total of over 9 million coronavirus cases? Question number 3. What is the name of the series of challenges in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here that has been replaced by Castle Coin challenges in the latest series due to it being filmed in Wales and not in Australia? What is the name of the series of challenges in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here that has been replaced by Castle Coin Challenges in the latest series due to it being filmed in Wales and not in Australia? Question number 4. On the 21st of November, James Botham, the grandson of cricketer Ian Botham, made his debut for the national team of Wales in which sport? On the 21st of November, James Botham, the grandson of cricketer Ian Botham, made his debut for the national team of Wales in which sport? Question number 5. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh recently marked their wedding anniversary by releasing a new photo. In what year did they marry? The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh recently marked their wedding anniversary by releasing a new photo. In which year did they marry? Question number 6. A Cabinet Office inquiry has found evidence that Priti Patel breached the ministerial code after allegations of bullying. What post does she hold? A Cabinet inquiry has recently found evidence that Priti Patel breached the parliamentary code after allegations of bullying. What position does she hold? Question number 7. Known for playing Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter films, who recently broke the record for the fastest time to reach 1 million followers on Instagram. Known for playing Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter films, who recently broke the record for the fastest time to reach 1 million viewers on Instagram. Question number 8. Radio 1 has announced it will not play the original of which song this Christmas? Radio 1 has announced it will not play the original version of which song this Christmas? Question number 9. Prince William has said he tentatively welcomed an investigation into a 1995 interview with his mother. Who carried out this interview? Prince William has said he tentatively welcomed an investigation into a 1995 interview with his mother. Who carried out this interview? Question number 10. After appearing on a 2017 episode, Dara Ennis recently made his debut as a regular on which TV show, where he was soon nicknamed The Menace? After appearing on a 2017 episode, Dara Ennis recently made his debut as a regular on which TV show, where he was nicknamed The Menace? Give it a couple of seconds with them. It was pointed out to me during the course of the week that I got the perfect voice. I've got the perfect face for radio, but unfortunately not the voice. I have me drowning and whining. Don't keep it awake too long. And you can all get a decent night's sleep. Excuse me a minute. Right then, the answers. The Spanish duo Abacada recently said that they would be happy to re-record, I think, their only hit single, which was called Yes Sir, I Can Boogie. And if anybody remembers Baccara from in the 70s, oh, they were lovely. India recently became the second country in the world to pass 9 million coronavirus cases after the US. The Dingo Dollar Challenges was replaced by the Castle Coin Challenges due to I'm a Celebrity being filmed in Wales. I could have thought of a couple of other things that they could have done confirmed with Wales, but they chose to go with Castle Coin Challenges. Right, James Botham made his debut for the Welsh Rugby Union team. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh recently marked their wedding anniversary. They got married in 1947. Priti Patel, who bullied staff in the Home Office. Ron Weasley, the million follower man, who was played by Rupert Grint. And the BBC Radio 1 are not going to be playing the original version of Fairy Tale of New York. Something to do with a reference to some chopped liver and onions, which has offended somebody somewhere. Prince William welcomed the investigation into a 1995 interview with Martin Bashir. Martin Bashir, by the way, is seriously ill. So chasing after him, I have no idea what that's going to achieve. Excuse me. Oh dear God! Right, Dada Ennis, after appeared on a 2017 episode of The Chase. He's now a chaser. He was previously a contestant. But Dada Ennis the Menace is a chaser on the. And there's your 10 for that. I'm just going to go and have a coughing fit at the moment. It's not corona related. It's Park Graves. Right, we better. Thank you, Benson and Hedges. I ought to be sponsored by Benson and Hedges and Benny Lynn. If you'd like to send me your answers in, Russ, that's an excellent score. Amy Wilkins, what about you? Bloody hell. Don't tell me you missed the one about Baccarat. Dorinda, excellent. Right, I think we're going to crack on with the initial letter link. The initial letter link. 10 questions on general knowledge where the answer to the final question can be spelt out by rearranging the first letters of the first 9 answers. Right then. Right. Question number one. Which gemstone's name comes from the ancient Greek word meaning not drunk, as it was once believed to prevent or cure drunkenness? What gemstone's name comes from the ancient Greek word meaning not drunk, as it was once believed to prevent or cure drunkenness? Question number two. The 2011 film, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, is centered around a group of people who move to a retirement hotel in which country? The 2011 film, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, is centered around a group of people who move to a retirement hotel in which country? Question number three. Cape Nordkin, the northernmost point of mainland Europe, is in which country? Cape Nordkin, the northernmost point of mainland Europe, is in which country? Question number four. What is singer Louise Redknapp's maiden name? What is singer Louise Redknapp's maiden name? I knew that, and there's a reason. Question number five. Which of ventriloquist Keith Harris's puppets was named after one of the aviation pioneers known as the Wright brothers? Which of ventriloquist Keith Harris's puppets was named after one of the aviation pioneers known as the Wright brothers? Question number six. What colour is the shortest Teletubby? What colour is the shortest Teletubby? Question number seven. What is the surname of the composer who in 1842 wrote music for the William Shakespeare play A Midsummer's Night Dream? This included a piece that's known as the Wedding March, which is very common at weddings, believe it or not. I want them to take me out in the coffin playing that, the Wedding March. I've had a few and I like a bit of wedding cake, mate. What is the surname of the composer who, in 1842, wrote music for the William Shakespeare play A Midsummer Night's Dream that included a piece that's known as the Wedding March? Very popular. What's the title of Fleetwood Mac's only number one? Only UK number one. What's the title of Fleetwood Mac's only UK number one? Question number 9. What style of comedy was named after a device made from two thin pieces of wood that would make a noise when it was used to hit someone? Which style of comedy was named after a device made from two thin pieces of wood that would make a noise when it was used to hit someone? And question number 10. The first letters of the previous 9 answers can be rearranged to spell the name of a European country. It's the only country in the world that has got more cars than people. The previous 9 answers can be rearranged to spell the word of a European country, which is the only country in the world that has more cars than people. I'll give you a couple of minutes with that one. Does anybody need any repeating? Or are we all good? Right then, let's go for some answers. The gemstone, whose name comes from not drunk, is amethyst. The best exotic marigold hotel is centered around a hotel in India. Cape Nordkin is the northernmost point of mainland Europe is in Norway. Louise Redknapp's maiden name was Nerding. Orville was Keith Harris's puppet, who was named after one of the Wright brothers. The shortest Teletubby was Red. Mendelssohn wrote music for Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream that included the Wedding March. Fleetwood Mac's only UK number 1 was Albatross. And the style of comedy that was named after a device made from two thin pieces of wood was called slapstick. If you rearrange the starting letter of those answers, it should give you the small country of San Marino, where they do actually have more cars than people. It's a bit like my house, that is. I've got a car for every day of the week. None of them work very well, but I have got a car for pretty much every day of the week. Right then, onwards and upwards. Do you want to send me your scores in, please? And then we'll keep rattling on. Blimey, there's some good scores coming in there. Exceptional behaviour, both. Nice one, Russ. Right then, we'll crack on with a round of sports and games. Question number 1. During general play in netball, how many seconds is a player allowed to hold on to the ball before shooting for goal or passing to another player? During general play in netball, how many seconds is a player allowed to hold on to the ball before shooting for goal or passing to another player? Question number 2. Also known as the throw line, which sport or game features a line called an hockey? Also known as the throw line, which sport or game features a line called an hockey? Question number 3. Of the 4 major championships in men's golf due to take place in 2020, 3 were postponed due to COVID, but which one was cancelled altogether? Of the 4 major championships in men's golf due to take place in 2020, 3 were postponed until later in the year due to COVID, but which one was cancelled altogether? Question number 4. In the standard UK edition of the board game Monopoly, how much does it cost to buy Mayfair, the most expensive property on the board? In the standard UK edition of the board game Monopoly, how much does it cost to buy Mayfair, the most expensive property on the board? Question number 5. In poker, what name is given to a hand where all the cards are of the same suit but are not in sequential order? In poker, what name is given to a hand where all cards are of the same suit but not all in sequential order? Question number 6. Which martial art has a name that means way of the sword and features bamboo swords called shinais? Which martial art has a name that means way of the sword and features bamboo swords called shinais? That's Shinais. Question number 7. In 2015, Gary Neville left his role as a commentator on Sky Sports to become head coach of which Spanish football team? In 2015, Gary Neville left his role as a pundit on Sky Sports to become the head coach of which Spanish team? Question number 8. In cricket, what name is given to the 3 vertical posts that support 2 smaller pieces of wood called the bails to form a wicket? In cricket, what name is given to the vertical posts that support 2 smaller pieces of wood called bails to form a wicket? Question number 9. Which video game originated from an idea that game designer Will Wright had after losing his home in a 1991 fire and had to rebuild his life? Which video game originated from an idea that game designer Will Wright had after losing his home in a 1991 fire and had to rebuild his life? And question number 10. The final event in an Olympic heptathlon is a track race over what distance? The final event in an Olympic heptathlon is a track race over what distance? I shall give it a couple of seconds with that one. Right then, the answers. In netball, you can hold on to the ball for 3 seconds. Players stand behind the hockey when they're playing darts. The only one of the 4 majors that was completely cancelled this year was the Open Championship or the British Open. On a standard UK board, Mayfair costs £400. It costs you that much to park on Mayfair, let alone buy the bloody thing. In poker, the hand where all the cards are the same suit but not in sequential order is called a flush. The martial art that means way of the sword is kendo. Gary Neville became head coach of Valencia in 2015. He also had the sack as head coach of Valencia in 2015. I think if I'm right, he lasted about 11 games and he was really, really shit. The vertical posts that hold the bails up in cricket are called the stumps. The video game that came from an idea by game designer Will Wright was called The Sims. And the heptathlon always ends with an 800-meter race. The answer to number 1, Amy, was 3 seconds. In netball, you have 3 seconds before you have to pass or shoot at goal. Even I know that because I've got an in-depth knowledge of netball, seeing as it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning, or the rerun of it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's some fantastic scores there, guys. They're really, really good. They are. I don't realise any of you were that sporting. Round number 7. It's not round number 7, really. It's round number 5, I think. It might be round. It's some sort of a net round anyway. Right. One-hit wonders. Can you give me the title of the song that these one-hit wonders had? If I give you the name of the artist and the year that it was a number 1, can you give me the... Dorinda Gibbons is moaning that there's no tennis questions. There was a netball question. That's a ladies' sport, isn't it? Netball. I'm sorry about that. We had a tennis question last week, didn't we? Or the week before. Right, one-hit wonders. I'm going to give you the name of the artist and the year, and you're please going to tell me the name of the song. So number 1 was Nina in 1984. Nina had a hit with what song in 1984? She was famous for having hairy armpits. I saw her interviewed a few weeks ago. She's got about 14 kids, but she still looks really quite nice. Question number 2. Ricky Valens had a hit with what in 1960? He was only a one-hit wonder, Ricky Valens. I thought he'd had more hits than that, but he had one hit single in 1960. Question number 3. Sam Bailey in 2013 had a hit with what song? Sam Bailey in 2013 had a hit with what song? Question number 4. Norman Greenbaum in 1970 had a hit with what song? Norman Greenbaum had a hit in 1970 with what song? Question number 5. Partners in Crime had a 1990 hit with what song? Partners in Crime had a 1990 hit with what song? Question number 6. Clive Dunn had a UK #1 hit in 1971 with which song? Clive Dunn had a #1 hit with what song? Question number 7. Anita Ward in 1979 had a hit with which song? Question number 8. Rednecks in 1994. Rednecks in 1994. What song propelled them to the top of the charts? Question number 9. The Baha Men in the year 2000 had a #1 hit single with which song? Number 9, the Baha Men in the year 2000. And finally, question number 10. In 1969, Zagat and Evans had a hit with what song? And the answers to those questions: Nina had a 1984 hit single with 99 Red Balloons. Ricky Valens topped the charts in 1960 with Tell Laura I Love Her. Sam Bailey in 2013 had a hit with Skyscraper. Norman Greenbaum in 1970 had a hit with Spirit in the Sky, which was also a hit for Doctor and the Medics, who were also classed as a one-hit wonder, but they're still performing. Partners in Crime in 1990 had a hit with Turtle Power. It was the title song or something to do with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Clive Dunn had a hit in 1971 with Grandad. Anita Ward in 1979 invited people to ring my bell. The Rednecks had a hit in 1994 with Cotton Eye Joe, which is probably one of the worst songs of all time. The Baha Men in 2000 asked Who Let the Dogs Out? And Zagat and Evans in 1969 had a hit with In the Year 2525. Send me your answers in, please. Send me your scores in, please. There's a lack of musical genius out there, isn't there? Just waiting for young Bills. That's awful. Right then, we'll rack on with it. 10 general knowledge questions themed around the words sick and tired. Question number 1. First broadcast in 1985. In Sickness and in Health was a sequel to which other TV sitcom, which also had a title that features in traditional marriage vows. First broadcast in 1985, In Sickness and in Health was a sequel to which other TV sitcom, which also has a title that features in traditional marriage vows. Question number 2. Which famous diarist is responsible for the famous quote, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life"? Which famous diarist is responsible for the famous quote, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life"? Question number 3. Sleeping sickness is usually transmitted to humans by the bite of which insect? Sleeping sickness is usually transmitted to humans by the bite of which insect? Question number 4. Who had a top 10 hit single in 1971 with Tired of Being Alone? Who had a top 10 hit single in 1971 with Tired of Being Alone? Question number 5. Running for 172 episodes from 1988 to 2002, which ITV drama series featured a character called Bert Quigley, who was better known by the name Sick Note? Running for 172 episodes from 1988 to 2002, which TV drama series featured a character called Bert Quigley, who was better known by the nickname Sick Note? Question number 6. An emetic, E-M-E-T-I-C, is a substance that is administered orally or by injection and does what? Does it make you sick or does it make you tired? An emetic is a substance that's either administered orally or by injection that does what? Does it make you sick or does it make you tired? Question number 7. With its most common symptom being extreme tiredness, chronic fatigue syndrome is known by another name that is commonly known under a 2-letter abbreviation. With its most common symptom being extreme tiredness, chronic fatigue syndrome is also known by another name which is commonly known as a 2-letter abbreviation. Question number 8. I was sick and tired of everything when I called you last night from Glasgow is the opening line of which number 1 hit? I was sick and tired of everything when I called you last night from Glasgow is the opening line of which number 1 hit? My employer is now dancing around. Thankfully, though, not in his underpants. He's got them on his head. It's either that or he needs a wee. Oh, here we go. Right. Question number 9. Which of the following is another name for a disorder called hypothyroidism, which can cause a feeling of tiredness? Is that an underactive thyroid or an overactive thyroid? Which of the following is another name for a disorder called hypothyroidism, which can cause a feeling of tiredness? Is it underactive thyroid or overactive thyroid? And question number 10. In 2010, David Cameron said he felt physically sick about the idea of giving prisoners the right to do what? It has nothing to do with pigs either. In 2010, David Cameron said he felt physically sick about the idea of giving prisoners the right to do what? Right then, on with the answers as sick and tired. First broadcast in 1985, In Sickness and in Health, was a sequel to Till Death Us Do Part. The diarist who wrote the quote, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life," was Samuel Pepys. The tsetse fly usually transmits sleeping sickness. The UK top 10 hit Tired of Being Alone was by Al Green. Running for 172 episodes from 1988 to 2002, London's Burning featured a character called Sick Note. Marge's second marriage to the mother of my children lasted from 1998 to 2002, and that was a bit like London's Burning. An emetic is a substance that you take orally or injected it to make you sick. Chronic fatigue syndrome is more commonly known as ME. There is a word here that I can't spell because it's got too many letters in, and I've only got my cheap bifocals on today. Question number 8. I was sick and tired of everything. When I called you last night from Glasgow is an opening line of Super Trooper by ABBA. Hypothyroidism is an underactive thyroid. And in 2010, Mr. Cameron said he was physically sick about giving prisoners the right to vote. Send me an answers in, and we'll get on with the last round. Some excellent scores there again, guys. Thank you very much. I'm just reading through these last few questions here because these are handwritten. Because we're cheap. I'm reading last week's quiz, but the first round of last week's quiz was food and drink, and we got through most of them. So we've written 10 brand fire new questions for you on food and drink. And your food and drink questions are as such. What drink is Worcester sauce traditionally added to? What drink is Worcester sauce or Worcestershire sauce traditionally added to? Question number 2. What gives Windsor red cheese its colour and flavour? What gives Windsor red cheese its colour and flavour? Question number 3. Which is the main herb in pesto sauce? Which is the main herb in pesto sauce? Question number 4. Which fruit is a cross between blackberry and the raspberry? What fruit is a cross between the blackberry and the raspberry? Question number 5. What type of food is basmati? What type of food is basmati? Question number 6. Which fish is the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock? Which fish is the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock? Question number 7. What does bow, B-I-O, translate to in English? What does bow, B-I-O, translate to in English? Question number 8. What is lava? Question number 8. What is lava? L-A-V-E-R. Question number 9. Which luxury food store has been open in Piccadilly since 1707? Which luxury food store has been open in Piccadilly since 1707? And question number 10. Under Bavarian purity laws, what are the 4 permitted ingredients of beer? Under the Bavarian purity laws, what are the 4 permitted ingredients of beer? Right, then I'll give you the second. Well, you will go and get your cans of Stella out of the fridge and read the back of them. I'm just trying to encourage people to get some cans of Stella. Right then. The answers to which are: which drink is Worcestershire sauce or Worcester sauce traditionally added to is tomato juice? Windsor red cheese gets its colour and flavour from red wine. Basil is the main herb in pesto sauce. The cross between a blackberry and a raspberry is a tayberry. Basmati is rice. The fish that's the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock is the anchovy. Salty little bastards, they are. They are lovely, aren't they? Better than eating raw salt. The word bow translates in English to bun. They're a steamed bread roll, which are very famous in the Far East and some places in Birmingham. And Sheffield, seeing as Mr. Wood is an expert at making them. Mr. Wood, the larger, or the younger, he's an expert at making them. I've yet to taste one, so I just think he's full of shit. But right, question number 8. Lava, L-I-V-E-R, is seaweed. So it's mainly used in lava bread, which is seaweed bread, which is absolutely lovely. I suppose it to be very, very nice with a little anchovy on it. And some Windsor red cheese. The luxury food store that opened in 1707 in Piccadilly is Fortnum and Mason. You can definitely buy lava bread and anchovies out of there. Well, I would do if I ever got paid. And, and under Bavarian purity laws, the 4 permitted ingredients of beer are not as was just pointed out to me now, beer, froth, gas, and a glass. They are actually hops, barley, water, and yeast. If you'd like to send me your answers in, I shall try my very hardest. I'm going to leave it for a minute here. Now, Frank Boff never had to do this on bloody grandstand when he went to get the bloody scores, did he? When the football scores was coming in. I'll be back in a minute. Back, right. I had to go and get my phone because we've got a pair of players, and it's the lady who runs Cafe Del Nino in the court there, and she sends me them through on text message. So Fran, I've been getting them. Right. Have we got some scores in, fellas? Oh, look, we're waiting for the scores to come in. Did you hear the news about Ellen Page yesterday? She's come out as transgender. She'll now be known as by the name of Elliot. Hollywood executives are said to be fuming as they're going to have to pay 20% more. Right. Oh my good lord. In third place, I'm not going to tell you the scores, but in third place, Dorinda. This is very close as well, to be honest with you. Dorinda was in third place. Congratulations, well done, guys. Amy Wilkins, you were in second place. And the winners by a paltry 6 points is Fran and Wendy. So Fran and Wendy asked, because she sends her answers in by text, and we were having some technical issues last week. Fran sends her answers in by text message, so she, because she was the only answers that I got in last week, she won by default, or claimed that she did, but now she's won it properly, without default or anything. So thank you very, 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 very good. Russ, you finished fourth. Jim, you finished fifth. And Andy, you finished in sixth place, mate. Thank you very, very much, all of you, for having a go. If you didn't come and join me online here, I'd be sat in this cold, lonely pub on my own. having abuse hurled at me by two fellas. I know it's tough out there at the moment. It's tough for everybody out there at the moment. We'll get through this if we keep our heads up. And if you need to talk to anybody or buy some beer, you can come and pop in and have a chat with us anytime you want to. We're always available. We know it's tough. If you just want to take the dog out for a walk, even if you ain't got a dog, take the dog out for a walk. And just pop round, pick a couple of beers up, chew the fat a little bit. I know it's tough out there at the moment. Restrictions have lifted a little bit. I've seen the pictures, the same as you have, from the Bull Ring and from Wolverhampton, and they can say that's as safe as our our socially distanced, mask wearing, track and trace, spotlessly clean pubs are. I have no idea, but there's obviously some spurious data that they're working on. One of the pieces of data that they were working on was based on an American model, Now, I've been to America a few times, and I've never been in a wet-led bar. Every bar that I've ever been to in America has had some sort of food offering on, whether that be a restaurant that sells food or whether that be a bar that sells ribs and they're saying that the infection rate of people who's been in those restaurants in those bars is 2.8%, and they're basing the data on foreign um, on foreign um, data that doesn't equate very well to the model that we've been. It's been my experience of the people who've come into our pub, and when we've been to other pubs, the British um, food and beverage industry has taken things very, very, very seriously indeed. Um, and we hope that in a couple of weeks, when they have another look at these things, that we might be in a better position. But at the moment, we're just where we are. But we are open for collections 7 days of the week. We'll even deliver it to your front door Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you know anybody who's a barber who's looking for a little bit of a number, we'll set you up in here. So if you've got any barbers or hairdresser mates who are out of work, who are looking for a job, we're looking to employ a barber. As long as you've got all your quals, hit us up on the Facebook. We'll get back to you, and we are genuinely serious about employing a barber. Right. So, guys, thank you very, very, very much for joining me. You're making an old man quite happy, actually. Um, keep your head down, your powder dry, and stay in the cowing house unless you've got to go out. Don't forget, collection 7 days of the week, deliveries Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. God love.